We are back with another edition of Sundays with Serby, and this week Steve Serby had a Q&A with a New York Jet, and that Jet will be number 56, linebacker Quincy Williams. Now it's time for me to hit Steve with a few questions. As the legendary New York Post sports columnist joins me now. Steve, how are things? Are you ready for this week's Q&A?
I am ready whenever you're ready, and boy, it's going to be a packed house at MetLife, huh?
It will. We're talking Jets, Patriots on Sundays. Going to be a packed house at MetLife. Steve is going to be in the building, so that'll be interesting. We'll talk to him after that too. But for now, we're going to talk about your Q&A. And Steve, Quincy Williams, he has an on-field mindset that he gets inspiration from via a YouTube video involving animals. So please tell us more. We need to know more.
Well, this is all about lions, cheetahs, and gazelles, Dex. I'm going to give you a little National Geographic content here. A gazelle must be faster than the fastest lion to survive. That was one of the quotes that Quincy relayed to me. A cheetah is the fastest land animal, can go up to 80 miles an hour. I bet you didn't know that. And Quincy Williams sees himself as the cheetah, stalking prey, a 225-pound linebacker. And he is willing to concede the role of lion to C.J. Mosley because Mosley is the leader of the Jets defense. And Quincy has this video saved on his phone, and he watches it right before they head out for the game. So interesting character. The kid is charismatic, very engaging, and very much like you, Dex. He will sleep on the floor of his hotel room the night before a game.
I do not do that. That is not my pre-work ritual, but that might surprise you. But I can understand the inspiration for some animals there. I want to know what the animal is that inspires you, Steve. That's something I'd like to know, definitely.
Well, I consider myself a lion, so most people consider me a pussycat, but my self-image is a lion.
All right, your self-image is a lion. I like that. Now, the Jets haven't made the playoffs in 11 years. So how does Mr. Williams feel about this squad and the term same old Jets that we hear so often?
Well, he feels the same way that the rest of the team feels, and Robert Saleh feels. It's not the same old Jets, and it's certainly not the same old Jets defense. With Quinnen Williams, his kid brother, and Sauce Gardner, stars on a defense that loves to talk trash, loves to tell its opponents, ain't nobody open but us, loves to tell each other, meet me at the ball, loves to conduct handshakes led by Quan Alexander, who has a handshake for just about everybody. And sometimes they even do handshakes right before the defensive call comes in after a big play. So these are not the same old Jets, but these are also not the same old Patriots without Tom Brady, but they still are the Patriots. And the Jets, remember, 54-13 a year ago, and they want that place, MetLife, to be so loud, Quincy Williams doesn't want to hear himself think. The key for the Jets will be Zach Wilson versus Bill Belichick. Zach threw 4 picks in his home opener last year, was hurt in the second quarter of the rematch, the 54-13 nightmare. And if Zach can play a clean game, obviously without Vera Tucker and Breece Hall, if he can play a clean game and the defense can continue to carry this team, the Jets can pull this one out.
All right, we'll see if they can pull it out. Remember, folks, Steve Serby here, he had picked the Jets to win 9 games this season. That was his prediction. We will see they can get closer to that number with another win on Sundays.
And that was weeks ago, right? That was weeks
ago. You did that. I think that was after the 3rd win of the season. I think you said that. So,
and yeah, we'll see. I reserve the right to change my mind. If the Jets win today against the Pats,
yep,
I will revise it. Well, I won't tell you how.
Okay, don't tell us.
We
got to get the people to tune in and watch. I'm a little surprised, though, Steve. You said you were going to always have a question for me on this Q&As. You have not delivered a question for me today.
Well, you didn't give me time. I was getting to it. I know you're eager. I know you're
expect
eager
you to
to.
be prepared, man. I expect you to be prepared.
I know you're eager to continue this rolling Q&A. How about what would you say your on-air mentality or personality is?
That's a good question. Now, I will say this. I do not have a video that I watch before I come into the studio, but my on-air mentality is one I'm always focused and I'm always trying to think, especially in terms of interviews, what is it that the fans would ask? What would they want to know? What would they want to learn from Steve Serby's Q&A or Brian Costello's game preview? You know, I always try to think of that. So my on-air mentality is always thinking about, am I delivering it right to the fans and making sure that my guests, like the great Steve Serby, understand and communicate with me effectively. That's it.
Well,
I like to think of myself as a cheetah out there. I try to go out and get it. You know, that's the mentality you got to have. So I like Quincy Williams' mentality here. I like that.
I love it. Look, these are not the same old Jets, and this is not the same old Dexter Henry.
You've known me a long time, Steve. Not the same old Dexter Henry, indeed.
A new and improved version.
I like that. We should always be trying to improve ourselves, as the legendary Steve Serby always does with his Q&As for the New York Post. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Dex.